Hi, I'm Chantal, the ecologist at Wildlife World, and we are here in our wildlife garden. It is Hedgehog Awareness Week, and we're going to give you some tips to help make your garden as inviting as possible to hedgehogs. So the first thing to think about is providing shelter. We're sat here on a log pile. Log piles are fantastic for providing shelter for hedgehogs, as are compost piles and leaf piles. It's also really nice to think about providing them with an option so that they can hibernate in your garden in an environment such as this. So here we've got our Hedgehog Barn, and it's been specifically designed for hedgehogs. So you can use this extendable door, which I'll just show you. It goes easily in and out, and this provides the option for you to put the food inside the barn, and that stops predators from being able to get the food. It also helps prevent any attack of the hedgehogs, so they're kept really safe in there. So it's a really nice option to put one of these hedgehog barns either next to your log pile or your compost heap, and you can sort of nestle it in so it looks really natural and a lovely feature in your garden. As well as shelter, just with all wildlife in the garden, we need to think about how are we getting them shelter, food and water. So the next thing is food, and slugs are the main food that you want your hedgehogs to be eating in your garden. So it's really important that you're not using chemicals in your garden. So using things like slug pellets in your garden will mean that the hedgehogs are in turn ingesting a chemical that's going to damage them. So by ensuring there's no chemicals used in the garden, you can then encourage hedgehogs to be eating slugs and other pests in your garden. But it's really good to top this food up because hedgehogs need a huge amount of energy every day. So using a hedgehog food, such as the Cotswolds Granary food, which is a really high quality premium food that's protein rich, it's a really nice supplement to their diet, so you can ensure that they're getting everything that they need. Ensuring that there's a clean supply of drinking water for your hedgehogs will set them up in good health. So this can be provided naturally through the creation of a pond in your garden, but it's really nice to also provide a drinking bath option. Here we've got the Oasis wildlife bath, and you can see on it that there are these gradual grooves down that act as little steps. So it's great for birds, obviously. It's also really good for all your pollinating insects that will just have a drink from the edge. And it's ideal for hedgehogs because they can just take a few steps in and there's no risk of drowning. If you do have a pond in your garden, making sure it's safe for hedgehogs to enter and exit is really important. So you can do this just by using a log so that they can go in and out. Making sure there's always an access point if there's any deep water in your garden is really important. The Wildlife World water bowl is another option for if you want to provide clean water for your hedgehog. This can go inside a feeding station or be left out. And again, it's really important to keep this clean, so giving it a good wash at least once a week is really important. So to encourage hedgehogs into your garden, you need to think about how they can access your garden. So a Hedgehog Highway is what we're trying to create, a big network of gardens across the landscape where hedgehogs can move freely between everyone's gardens, getting everything that they need. So to enable this to happen, we've got to think about opening up a little section of our garden. So usually this will be cutting a small hole in a garden fence. Bearing in mind hedgehogs are relatively small, the hole doesn't need to be much larger than a large drain pipe. And you'll just cut that hole out of the bottom, and that enables that freedom for the hedgehogs to move in and out. If you can have 2 points of entry and exit, all the better. It's really important also to think about how safe your garden is for hedgehogs. We don't always know if hedgehogs are visiting our garden, but it's a good job if we can just ensure that they are safe if they are there. So common areas where they come into trouble are bonfires. So always move the bonfire from where it's been and check that there are no hedgehogs before lighting it. Have a look for hedgehogs before you put your fork in your compost pile to make sure you don't accidentally cause them some injury. You may have netting around your garden, perhaps you use netting in your vegetable plot. It's really important to make sure that that's always at least a foot off the ground so that they can't get caught in a tangle. And as we said before, checking that if there is any water in the garden, that they've got a safe way in and out, and that no chemicals are used, so they're not going to ingest anything harmful. So if you can think about setting up your garden and providing the shelter, whether that's man-made or natural, food, water, a highway so that they're connected to your neighbours' gardens, and that your garden's as safe as possible, then fingers crossed you'll have hedgehogs visiting very soon.